just got finished watching episode 17 of Assassination Classroom. We're about to dive into episode 18 titled Outcome Time. My neighbors are being obnoxiously loud by now because apparently they like to play their music so that way several blocks can hear it. I don't understand why they would do that. Why? Whatever. Just to keep people. Anyway, we're about to dive into episode 18 called Outcome Time. So majority of both sides of the classroom have been stopped. So, I mean, obviously it's going to be a Nagisa versus Karma time. Now, I think Nagisa took out the last of the red team, but there is one member of the blue team left, our blonde guy, whose name I'm forgetting. But his thing is that he's not very good with guns, so I don't know if that's a foreshadowing where he'll try to do guns, and he'll end up hitting, like, while Nagisa and Karma are going at it, he'll, like, hit him, or maybe Nagisa will keep him out of the fight, I don't know. He's kind of a loose variable there. He's kind of an unknown variable there. I don't know if, Nagisa will win or Karma will win, or if one of them does win, if they'll choose the other side. It's like, okay, even though I won, my team won, we're going to do this instead. But it's in the end, it's kind of, it's a way to kind of unite the class because he doesn't want them to fight. But part of that discord, the center of it, was yes, there was a split, but at the same time, it was kind of fueled a little bit by Nagisa and Karma. Now, the rest of the class would be very satisfied with it, but Nagisa and Karma have a lot to sort of work through and deal through. Nagisa, I don't know if Karma is jealous of him. I think he is. He keeps getting surprised by Nagisa for someone who's so observant and of his classmates and clearly knows them well enough to be a good strategist for them when they listen. He should know Nagisa very well, but Kiana did mention there's a bit of a space between them, so maybe he doesn't know Nagisa as well as he used to, or maybe he hasn't bothered to study them, or maybe he has studied Nagisa, but there's still so much that, maybe Nagisa is the one who keeps at bay. It's kind of hard to tell with their relationship dynamic. I'm sure as they fight and work it out, we'll get more of the background and figure out why. I don't think it's just pure jealousy. There may be a little bit of jealousy there, but I think there's also a part of him, he gets frustrated with loss, so I think there's a part of him maybe is frustrated with Nagisa in his mind, not living up to his full potential. You're an assassin, you're the most talented when it comes to assassination specifically, like as a whole assassination. Yes, there are sharpshooters, yes, there are people who are good at like different aims, but as a whole, you are truly an assassin. And you're not really living up to your full potential, your full talent, so I can see why maybe Karma would be frustrated with him. But I'm sure the anime is pretty good, and this one is, and some animes are pretty good at, why giving us, in one form or another, usually through talking, but giving us the reasoning behind why a character does what they do. And so, for the most part, I'm never really kind of going like, oh gosh, we'll probably never find out because maybe the writers will forget. Like, again, anime, manga, and those anime writers, unless the anime cuts something out from the manga, they're pretty good at kind of bringing things full circle and sort of kind of clarifying things that had, lots of visual clues, or maybe visual and verbal, or just verbal clues, and then kind of explicitly going for the audience, because again, it's a visual media, so you have to state things explicitly or show things explicitly to the audience. You can't just make them assume certain things, because again, this is a visual medium, so you have to be explicit in terms of sometimes resolutions or fights or things like that. Anyway, this is a great anime. I love it. We're almost to the end. 7 episodes left after this, and then we're done. Of course, Mob Psycho 100 kicks off after that. Again, I don't know if I'm going to dive right into Mob Psycho 100, or if I'm going to wait a little bit. It looks like by the time that last episode comes out, I'll have a few weeks left of my internship. So I don't know if I'm going to do additional anime during that time. I thought maybe I'll just end it when I end it, and then kick off at everything new in September. Or maybe I'll fill in the space with some movies or some shorts. I don't know what I'm going to do quite yet. In between kicking off the next anime. So once I get closer, and once I get an idea of what the summers really look like, because this first week has been orientation, so we really haven't been into the nitty gritty yet of everything. So once we start getting into the rhythm of things and kind of figuring out what the summer's going to look like, and once I get closer to the end, I'll have a better idea of like, oh yeah, we're going to dive right in, or oh no, I'm going to hold off until I get back home, or I'm going to hold off until September, or however it might be, just because I just have to be really sensible in my timing. And the good thing is for the fall, I have no classes. I might take an occasional art class to kind of buffer buffer? No. Beef up. There we go. My art side of my portfolio, because it's kind of a three-pronged thing. My portfolio, but I should have a little bit more time on my hands, and I'm going to try to be a bit more sensible with my work schedule because it is not consistent whatsoever. It never has been. So it's one thing I love about the summer is that I work from Monday to Friday. I have weekends off, and I know exactly when I have to get up and be at work and what time I leave work and what time I get back to the apartment. So it's great. It's consistent. I love me some. Oh, I love consistency. So nice. I'm probably one of those boring saps who actually likes a 9 to 5, 5-day-a-week job. But when I get back home, it's a restaurant. And there's no such thing as a consistent schedule for anybody. And, they don't even try. But I will try to have consistent days off and without having classes and no more chemistry and kind of my time being a little bit back on my own. And I'll be able to also maybe react more or a bit more consistently. I don't know yet. There's still things that are in the air. And of course, what if I get a full ownership? There's a lot of variables, what I'm trying to say. But the point is, I have a better idea when the next iteration of Anime Thursday is going to kick off, when the next iteration, when Mom Psycho 100 is going to take over for this series. I'll have a better idea of it when we get closer to the end of my time here in New York. Anyway, I've blabbed on long enough. If you're watching on YouTube, there's no sound, none. Partial translucent image. If you want to follow along, there's a countdown timer. You can't miss it. There's a halfway point of this episode for these episodes, so sometimes I will pause if I need to kind of catch up mentally. There's no timer for me to when I end it or click it off, so you're gonna have to kind of guess a little bit. There's a version below. You can click it if you like. Without further ado, let's dive right in. Thanks for watching. You missed it, buddy. He took them out so fast. Blunt force, straight up, point blank knives. He's sneaky. Oh, he took him out with gun, just a knife or guns and a knife? Impressive. Carson wouldn't tell him. Oh, took him out. Okay. I was wondering what was going to happen with him. Also, we're getting all these like happy flashbacks in the beginning there, and then it's like not so much. Oh, I told myself I was going to pay attention to the relationship part of this intro later on. It's interesting to see in like when it comes to certain colors, like what parts Nagisa, like some characters look happy in and some characters don't look happy in. Oh, because she's dead. So we are looking back over how much he's changed the school, but also, yeah, I mean the students as well. But also, he's gonna die. They're gonna miss him, aren't they? These songs are bops, though. I gotta get myself like a anime intro playlist. Okay. So we are just simply looking back on the relationships that have changed and shifted over this time? Will Red Skull come back again? Or no? Like the new Reaper? This is just painful. It's gonna end sad, isn't it? 18th period. Outcome time. Yeah, at first I didn't quite understand the periods, and so I was just like, 13th, like 11th period. Well, how would you have that many periods in a class with college? That's not the case. Every day, every episode's a lesson. Did Karasumi even know? He wouldn't say, but still. Good for him. That was really good. Oh, for sure. That's kind of cool. Oh, his smile got bigger. I never really noticed that before. Yeah, but he's been called out. No, he's kind of obnoxiously, strangely. Um. He's a strategist. He really is. His specialty. Yeah, she gets him really well, actually. She did a good job. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. He does work really hard. He is stupidly hopeful. He is. It's really cool. Take his jacket off. It's fine. Maybe a jacket in there. Ooh, please let me get a flashback. Flashbacks? Yes! Yeah, and we also saw he actually does work hard, actually. Some of the most people I've really admired were the people who were just really confident. Not in an entirely arrogant way like Karma is, but definitely confident and not unaware of what they were saying, but just not afraid of being just that open. But they were also spoke truth and the truth. It was good. I like those people. I admire those people. It's hard to be those people though. Oh, what now? It's distraction. Hardcore violent dude. Yeah. Interesting. probably his violence also reminded him a bit of home. And apparently there's a part of him that made him uneasy. So he was unnerving over karma. Oh. From the beginning, he could see that killer instinct, I guess. So for him and him seeing karma's violence and kind of aggression and all that was just like, ooh, you both see the little thing. They both had the crazy eyes. Okay. Oh, wow. This is going to be, it's going to be fun. I mean, yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a close fight. The assumption is Naga's going to win. But we don't actually really know fully the truth, like if he is going to win or not. I'm excited though. But it's interesting to see that with Nagisa, him seeing karma and his kind of violence and how strong he was, kind of made him look off-putting to Nagisa in some way. I don't know, because it was just school-wise and strength-wise, he just couldn't be on the same stage as him. So when you admire people, you can eventually want to be on the same stage as them. I guess is one way of thinking about that, and I get that. But for him, it was like I could never be on that stage. Not probably because he maybe didn't want to be on that stage at all. And the other part is with karma, Nagisa unnerved him. Nagisa was the only person who could surprise him, and some people don't like people who can sneak up on them, and especially if they have. We don't really know much of karma's actually family life, but ooh, they are set and ready to go. Eyeballs, and they do have that kind of. The coloring is interesting. And good for boys, and it just, yeah. Someone has to move first. Oh, it would be karma. Oh. I think they filmed some real fights because the way those feet moved kind of looked interesting. Yeah. No. The clapping thing won't work this time. Oh, the music, come on. Ooh. That's kind of a vulnerable attack there. Ooh, nasty. They've really taken out some aggression on each other. Wow. Karma. He's not very strong. Nice. But again, compared to Karma, not so much. Ah. Ooh, he's really connecting. Dang. I can't. These are not easy. Not quite. He really. What? Oh, that's why he's bleeding. He bit on tongue. Oh! But he could have won. But Karma gotta let him know. He's a strategist. really pay attention to the fact that they had Kun on the back of those things. I never really thought about it. Oh my gosh, they're all cute. That's actually true. Maybe not a fist fight, but might be a bit of a boy thing. That's right. Okay, interesting. This show is so weird. Some of the things have come out of my mouth in observation of the show. I was like, I never would ever expect those two words to come out of my mouth. I won't just say something like that. I'm just like, this is weird. I guess in the real world, obviously, if Karma and Nagisa were fighting, Nagisa would have won because he would have shot him. Or if it was a hand-to-hand fight, Karma would have won because he would have stabbed him. But this was not a true assassination. This was more of a I need you to hear me out kind of battle. And they're actually right. Sometimes you need that conflict because maybe things aren't being said in a relationship, even a friendship. And so you need that conflict that all of your true feelings do kind of finally come out. Which can be, can be a great thing. It's kind of like, and now we can move on. Now we can become better friends. And I guess in their case, they truly are now friends because they dropped I guess the Kun is formal. Didn't really think about that. Right. Okay. Let's talk about this episode, shall we? So we reached a very fun portion of the episode. We have Karasuma has given them 1 month to find a way to save him, find a cure. And he goes, and then after that, if you can't do it by then, you need to go back to being assassins. You need to go back to what your purpose is. I can't just let you run off and do nothing. So, it makes sense. I kind of like that. He's being very reasonable. Like, you have a deadline, get it done, and go. Oh my gosh! I was wondering if there was going to be an after credits thing. I don't think so. Whichever is easier. Yeah, in today's digital age, paper is way safer. Cool. Oh, interesting. Proof of concept. Ah, yeah, no. Hopefully, of course, it won't blow up on the way up there. What are those? Okay, now we've reached the end. I was, part of me was like with the ad thing. I was like, I wonder this episode's gonna have a post-credit scene because it felt like it, and I was right. Okay, that was funny. Oh my gosh. Anyway, what was I saying? What a great episode. But this show is freaking weird. I mean, the things that pop out of my mouth, I'm like, what the heck? Yeah. It's just stuff. It's a crazy show, but it's a good show. It's a good show. This season 1 is a little rough, yes, for sure, and it's definitely kind of like season 1 of Agents of Shield. It's like, okay, this is getting alright. I'm kind of done. But season 2 and on for both shows is absolutely amazing, and so one of my best friends was watching season 1. She only watches the dub because of eyesight issues, and she likes to do stuff at the same time. So when she's watching the dub, she said she kind of stopped because she didn't like it. It was a little weird. She didn't think it was very good. And I told her, I was like, no, season 1's kind of rough, but if you get past that, if you get past the ground laying season, which really what season 1 was really for, the fun stuff happens after that. In the second half of the first season. The fun stuff starts happening in the second half of the first season, and then keeps going. And so I'm definitely gonna tell her again, like, you've got to go back and start watching this. Get through the first half of the first season. The rest of it gets really fun after that. And the show really is. Once you get past the first half of the first season, it's well paced. It's fun. They have great comedic moments, ridiculous moments in this show, but also a show where the main lead is an overpowered yellow octopus creature is kind of, you expect some weird stuff, but it's still well paced, and there are actually some really cool lessons and character development. And yes, not everybody gets equal weight on the show because it's only a few seasons, but we do get to see bits and pieces of the characters and see their growth and where they've come from. Just that episode alone was like, let me show you some things that we haven't been focusing on this character at all. It was a good reminder that yes, even though our main characters, we got to see them develop, our other characters are also developing at the same time. So that was, I talk about that when it comes to anything that's manga, comic books, anime, TV shows, especially let's stick with TV shows, animated and otherwise. You have to be explicit to a point about where your characters are, what they're doing, where they're going. because it's a visual medium. So you can't just let them assume everything. Some things have to be put out in writing in front of the audience's face. What's fun about this is while we're so focused on certain characters being pushed to the foreground, indeed, is that they still said, okay, here are some moments. We got a little bit of moments kind of touched on the characters at the beginning, but here are some moments periodically throughout the show, especially near the end of the show, that is a reminder, a visual reminder that these characters, even though we haven't focused on them barely at all, if at all, they're still going through their arc and still their growth. So I really like that, and I really appreciate that a lot. I think it's really important for a TV show, an animated show, something that's serialized like this, that you have to see certain things kind of arc and tie together and make sense. And but it's okay, not everything has to be in the foreground. You have to pick and choose, but it's still good, a reminder that ever so often, yes, these characters who are never really brought to the foreground except in bits and pieces, they're still going through their growth and their arc, and they still have their goals as well. So this last episode was a really great reminder for the class, to show how far the class has come. And of course, this episode was a really great reminder to show how far Nagisa and Karma have come. I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for watching. We're 7 episodes away, and then, yeah, some other fun stuff. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching. I already said that. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, share with your enemies. I'll see you next time.